It's Rubicon Maxwell say RKB, my village that to is it Comfort Room? Mami Shadi. Okay, Mami Shadi. Okay, Comfort Room. Wow. Was in the crash no. Wow. And ukru no wabe popular. It's not just a no. David Apostle said Nana Koro and the MPP government have totally destroyed the future of Ghana education service. Okay, also the other Stephen Ofosu said, good afternoon, RKB. I am fantastic. Okay, watching you live from Pristia, the London of Ghana. Wow, Pristia Mummy London. And you do call the only over show. Is it what done? The way I near me and Yasem Kutua. Bozy Battle say, good afternoon, RKB and the entire team. Also the Kakra or the Abano na Yansha dear. Okay. Nana Kido Mekose watching you live from Columbus, Ohio. Lateli Lai is also sharing or Chiayen Salma Dankofa Amino so a message ewaha na yeko yenimeno. Okay, Salma Amino Dankofa say you come au wakufuado. James Dyer say Nanado and Bamia is a disgrace to Ghana, and they have failed the good people of this country. Now, we do just Ghana, even the school children are on strike. Stephen Ofus and Nanado is okay. It's Nanado, young Ghana education or Senopa, Abraham Latte was and also enya asem gutwa enti na chese eno nso so eno no the messages no besianom na yetimi apem so de akoyanim sabre dwumade no live all the various platforms how do one more APAAK radio stations makomako and so and afin so no okay uko bupe bupe runabout justice edem kama and Justice Information Center and also Edem Kama Enyasem Gitwa. Right. Okay, Stephen Fosu said RKB Pristia community. They check you off. Wow, Pristia form. That remember time in Mamba. It did not just know so I don't know. And Tia Baba didn't come up at a fag and Homasfia home. Now, my guest on the show, Dr. CLEMENT APAAK, NP for Builsa South. Honorable.
Minia.
Mahai.
Mejo so mechia tiefo nyina mema obi a wo tie yen na se wo hwe yen afishapa
ene meso so mejino ma so e de ma ma fin comment to afise na ye ba hoden ne edikan
pepe
zanza hoden na owa de nyina
sanity
se consistency ho e boko de
e boko am se me free ho ba be enanum ni
5 days in here
ero akra anka menya akwa anka mekoye
besanko
de tie se NDC amanyoko wo mayi mpenimfo be every national
okay
be every regional and former government appointees DCs former MPs and former ministers and omatic groups nti omo bo pro across the whole country.
Wow.
As a part of the outreach program. Na the attendance nema bebre akoso. If we say ye to aba obi enim say the Ghana for etumano no enyo no eneti akonya so. By virtue of the course ewo EC any court any nasifo entinu em say party impenifo AC ginaye omugidi say ewo say impenifo etumi eko constituencies ni nyina across the country na wo money ye branch executives polling station executives no wo mo enkodi nkeka ho nsa woso na womuntietie de eda omonso omo akoma so na mpenimfo no nso no de ekoso ewo soro national regional no ene de ebobo ba no ene nsensema ekoso a na Ghana ni nyina Ghana fo nyina ene de akire no na wo mo de ato omunim
I see
tiam se nra na omo wo mempeso so
okay
na minim so mbeba de but na nsem na ebobo ba be no dem se adesua nsem edi ma akotene
okay
eti penifo eka se membo me homode na membra nkrai
okay
na yanso yembe chekiremu de nim de yenim se de eko se be boa yen Ghana fo anasa emwa yen and omo so ya di dwumade enu asho mo nsa no se omo ye no kwan so ebe so mfaso ama Ghana fo anasa enso mfaso enenti na me wanya sanka me da ho ewo fumbisi ewo Builsa South
I see ene akwaba ni je ni nyina adwuma na o ma adwuma na
sa netie
but 2 years ago me no nya one-on-one saying that I think my interview phone so da me share was saying that honorable officer cry me mad but I remember 2 years ago na me admission na ma me kwada no baako University of Ghana but I'm say a tom no admission delay tiniema man temsa one so unim condition e wo mo hanom so me ne ask ekasa and also obebo doctor manie ni ahwede but I was surprised say doc say akwakoye homosua nko ade kakra no so obetimi di abo amakwada na nya admission university no obeboa sometimes minim sanka mo ya ade aya mo ye e de mamo constituents akwada want to abama onim ni babia na ozo akoye homosua nko ade kakra ozo se won sem no wo nyina mfa nkoso so na afi akwada na nya admission what is the secret
yo me dase bebre anya se wo kan ya me anka menkai the kwepa de eba kope me ne wo entna asese entwetwe nkomo
enokre
so what menka abia na interview on phone
enokre
but ask the minimum ne pa ana minim se ode adesede abetumenim but mean to mean kai
baby eko
ade poten a ode baaye anase nipa kropoten a na ne ho akere na anase ope bibi kakra bi ede atopo ede aye dwuma ebema obi anye daache amaboa no nti if you do good do for yourself me say obi di asem betumenim na se metumi aboa membisa enti no se ene wa mana dedi se bibi ebeto menim afa ax eso na se menso metumi aboa aya sempa megidi se sa na wo se ye no yese unim nipa no ana se wo ye obusheni ana se empo ofri wo mpeso so ko we se ye we enya umami yemba ana dachi bibi toa baba be yi wa free hawmu they said here Bible no eka no de biara no se obi ba wo ho na obesra ade a membunu enimtia se unni bi kra kakasa ebema na anya gidie se ebeye unni ni nyina mpo a kito a wonso wo no
odeboa
fa boa no na oya sa na oya ma ho asema wu kan asema ama
auziegu
egu me ho because me kra no kwani nka wanka menkai kra menkai but that is the way it should be if you can help do it if you do good you do for yourself and then it here nka me ba na oka say ask e dey asem no betu menim e na medidi na teme pamo na saka enum gwase enti no se wa ka me dase se with me aka ewo simpie yi so ama amansan nyina ate say me ye bibi kakra bi the boy and that is the way it should be. We should look out for each other because akwara na o school da chi unim bibi ona beje me nkwa emwa o de be mame ana say Ghana mpo o my Ghana bibi a no so ebekwa kodu nimdia obenya nyansa obenya empo sere nyankopon betumi epega no anhwa na onokra na be nsu ano nti ende yemfa manyame na yensre se de bia no edin but ketu ayenso ye betumi de aboa nipa ne de on market ketu e bi embeto eboto
Yamisha for your kindness.
Amen.
And I will level 300.
Wow, look. But it's a joy. Yeah. As an educationist, you know, when I hear that students are making progress to the next level, no. Scholarship. Get fund, no, or they say common fund na delay. Okay. 2020 say. And Korabaku por 100. Wow. Bakubia scholarship 1,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow. 100.
Yes. 1,000 Ghana cedis. Yes.
Which is 100,000.
In fact, it is 200 because I spent 200,000. Okay. So baku 200. Each of them got 1,000 Ghana cedis to support. Yes, 200 Ghana cedis. That is correct. I made a Wow. And so I'll continue to do that in support of education. Schools and Kunya mass sets. Radio sets for primary schools and then as if for my schools in be a big crime show best and approve them. And when it comes to education, I don't joke. Was a yes, I'm coming in near. The cross no one nipa do one anymore. Yes, I'm coming so me sure and me sure me how far. But Yamadum any addition and I mean so my nipa. As some on Mampeni at Chradio University. With me ba mu studio ebe kasa ko Joy FM program bi enu ha me ntumi kasa so nyina that is the benefit of education eji me free me kura se kitwe bi doninga tementi amon for do na at doninga din o ma te Builsa South met me akwa brochire me wari boni kura e wo ma oh the year University of Ghana Fabel ni Kwame Akufo no munya o moni twa me nya dadaba but because of education we were rubbing shoulders, and today it's still the same. Into education, when we say education is the social equalizer, no, I am an example. Me a second generation in my family. Wow! But because of education, and I am a teacher. Okay. Or the huntiase. Okay. Wow. Me papa so chira ade answer na social welfare. Wow. Omunyina atiase. Tu nina. Yes. Ti me a Dr. APAAK CLEMENT. Many Odinechi, Dr. APAAK Daniel. Wow. The Odinechi or the fire service commander, Ewa Bono. The Odinechi a police woman. The Odinechi a teacher. Second generation. Nyame papa ni mami ne close school. Omobusia. Omo the first on both my mother's side and my father's side to get an education. Wow. So when we say what Agri said, you know, Mijidipa said education is the social equalizer. And if you educate a woman, you're not Katuaso. The whole nation, you educate community. A community, yes. We are benefiting from education.
I was here, Dr. CLEMENT APAAK, and you know, a 101 on education. Honorable, my Mr. Wigakra, now, I just watch actually what Chikakra be. But the duties of a member of parliament looks as if say ye mu be the duties no but oko from one share that clear as a member of parliament you can so be MP na juma na say
MP de we juma ade a mrapon no ena etwa to hama. Okay. The member of parliament is a representative of the people. When crop for a more on Peswaso, and I would know my name. Say what about parliament. Now, Omadi said, dear, or more how there was a buying a bit more. Now, woman so a omo ye Ghana fo omo ho atumi ahenha omo eno na ye wo number 1 priority representation say una wo gina omo name then I meet he I'm a member of parliament me member of parliament in Builsa South any Builsa South frontier
okay
nka to me and kasem ye empty say who nim de ekoso efa sao
okay
thank you was almost munya member of parliament
yeah
but ya amfa ye anto ye eti ekono ekoso say omo nso ebetumi eyi obi na wabe si omwenan ewo parliament the first role of a member of parliament is representation
okay
say or represent unkofo so you have to bring their issues, their views, their aspirations, their challenges, their concerns to bear and then advocate and canvass on their behalf. Abrebiano, you have to be in touch with your constituents because the issues keep changing. Some of them are almost permanent. This is also Builsa South say, yeah, coin and yeah, electricity and drew young crew nkitwano bebre ensure ombenum school kwa wo ubeko na school teacher ba kupe junior high school teacher ba kupe primary school teachers mienu pe
from class 1 to 6
yes mamuno no e wo ho bia wie school e bi wie ye ejuma mbeye eni ho normal bank cry no mo ye kaye truck pushers scrap dealers any de kaka ho enti sa nyoma no permanent in many of the rural constituencies, including my own. But I know some variations ewo ho. Ebi wo ha omude no sen ebi. Ba ya de ya wo asia no kra poto Builsa South. Ya wo asia. One of the medical kind your role is to represent. Then the other one for a member of parliament oversight. Say die ye no say onye mampeni na we na pamfo a free ministers deputy ministers omo chair government agencies they say NPA na sefo na wako DCs yen ena wasa yetumi ehwe edwuma omudi esanse afi bia no afi ni kwewe ya minister for finance eba parliament oba what the budget statement and economic policy the mampenina and nkofo atenase atrotro say afi ayebe weni na ebeye na sika sei ene hia na mo de ba na ya yo hu debate ebi ho wa ye bepene so ebi wa ye mpene so e-levy say ye mpene so omo say e-levy yes no e-levy na enu nyina ekire no fa ye gi bibia etumu wie a awasa yetumi edi eni edi ekire na ye de asoto fam na sika omo beje ye na de omo ka se omo de beye no se omo de beye
okay
enti se omo mfanya yetumi efrom se omo bra parliament na so omo bra committee na omo beyi ano anase omo nkyerechire sika ye de ama omo de omo de aye na ne nyina mpo wie a na auditor general ono so akọ audit na watcho auditor general report na wasan de bre parliament na speaker I refer to public accounts committee na bebi a sika na akodi a ye gidi se enya ne kwan so ne nyama no omo a omo amfa sika no andi dwuma wo so omo didi no se betwu waso ana ya twe se sika no na obesan de abetu aban futu no mu na wodi aba so that is part of the oversight responsibility and then your legislative responsibility and only say aban mu mpenimfo say dem rapon ne se no one person mo ye bibia awose efa mrekwan so na se be fa mrekwan so de a awose eba parliament na yen na omo de ba se omo de bill bi aba se ebia womo de e-levy beba awose omo de ba eme edi hu nkomo na ebobom na edi hu echinie na ya hwe se de omo de aba no yegitumu a ene mrapon constitution no ebebo obra anase ene no beko anase mpo de omo de aba no ayade a ebebo Ghanafo anase emo Ghanafo. That is the legislative aspects. Nti ya pass laws bebre.
Okay.
E-levy bill no aba ya nyam pass, so it's not law.
Okay.
And nti ye kase you know kind of right I want to make say Ghanafo 1.7 on any electronic transaction because you're nyangin tumu and we can give several examples. Answer na yebeje ya home after say ntawantawana bae no in the area of education abai no at the student loan amendment bill ebae say nkwara na wo mu ko school abai say obebo mu student loan no wo ka say wo beyi de na wo ho na e ka say wo be ye be ma obusuan say wo ye school ni na wo de akopia wo frisi ne na sefo a eni se wo nya obi a obedi adanse.
Okay.
Eno no na eni law no mu de na wo ho no say wo ye a e wo say unya obi a obedi adanse grantor so be ka say asimesi minimum no eti loan no mo ma no say as soon as one tua mo mra me ho enti to amend the student loan they had to bring a bill.
Okay.
Until we passed it. And we can give examples of many other laws. Say you create the Office of Special Prosecutor and then as for. So that is the legislative component. And by and large, you know, these are the three main issues.
Okay.
But a sense yen mine on the crop for maybe our development need do na many of our communities will be back on the bare necessities. Nkitwa no a ehia se ombenya na omonso etumi aye Ghanafo ehu se oman no sika no ebi nso edu omo ebo omo no eya na as a result of the challenges with development basic issues no ama a fourth responsibility any krata biemo
okay
abeye bibia yedi hu dwuma which is to facilitate or lead a development agenda in your constituency. To betia se kwanya na ye bo MPD se insure and abese school bia ye so MP ni wo here. But most of these things, you know, they are not the formal responsibilities of MPs. And your central government through district assemblies.
Okay.
And also more. But because of the need and the fact that our system has not matured to a stage where the assemblies can rise up to a more responsibility as agents of development. In PMP, you know, that responsibility also falls on the MP because MP entumi kwai. School the idea also wunim nipa ba ku mienu bi ukosra mo ambetumi aboa na wo si school ba ku mienu na sempo boreholes ba ku mienu bi na wakosenkene na manema. But ideally all of these should be the responsibility of the assembly, not a member of parliament. But if you say the you cannot fault the people for looking up to the MP because district assemblies, you know, they are not at a stage where they have the full capacity to be able to deliver. Although, those are their responsibilities. By and large, you know, these are the four responsibilities of a member of parliament. Yeah,
I see. Young education mukakane shade a committee no a war parliament amoshe ngomosua ho no. Most so moduma pa ne say ye kind education committee most so oversight responsibilities in here there.
Once I me ba kakraka
Yeah.
Well, to me, documents are
Yeah.
me dear ba Ghana Education Service 2020 budget presentation. Ghana Education Service 2021 budget presentation. Ghana Education Service 2022 budget presentation. Ministry of Education overview of 2022 budget. And then I say for NACA. You know, the role of the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Education, and it's a in a parliament a year.
Okay.
Based on recommendations are NPP side, any NDC side, are making. Say, Mona Monim dear, me say, Machra dear. Me work university, Manone, me by fear, I've been involved in university governance, both as a student, as a lecturer. And you know, been penning for, party penning for, any parliament in penning for. Omo share me CV, any me background, any me knee, any me record. Ana omo ka say, wo no, adisua hu nsem de, unim de. Enti call education committee. Na kobua ewo ho. And that is the way it is done. The committee membership no, ye kwa, would we see ko? Na ye the list naba.
Okay.
Na wano wako true. Na wa select it. Committees are who you say you have the expertise to be a part of. And no esa ko umpenu for ho. No matter baby I will say ubet me abwa and we CV we experience. And based on that, you know, they would then recommend you for foreign affairs, education, lands and forestry, and then as for. Then when they propose, and on the best have a plenary, then you then become a member of the committee. So for the Committee on Education, our primary responsibility is oversight over the Ministry of Education and in the agencies into any and everything to do with education, except in the case of specialized areas, say they are nursing and as a law. Other than that, you know, everything to do with education and agencies that are responsible for implement policies in the area of education, no, they are all answerable to us. We have oversight responsibility as far as the ministry and its agencies are concerned.
I see.
And the sanity.
I see. And you find say a curriculum year or more change, you know. Namu say, Munya say, or catch a committee, no.
Voila. I've been able baba.
Oh, okay.
Nukrandi eba akupe. Sa new calendar. Another was a curriculum because you know.
Yeah,
curriculum na books there.
Yeah, curriculum na books there.
Very well. Curriculum
was a major year of transformation and eba.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Standard based curriculum na abind the abano. Me na me wo Foreign Affairs Committee.
Okay.
As a member. I said the first half of the 7th Parliament. I feel back who I could do in few and son and penning for let what I again say main core education.
Okay.
But empono minyantie sa new standard based curriculum nkomodia course and sana yade sa policy no eba no eba Education Committee of Parliament. I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
But since I may quite a member of Education Committee, this was, I believe, in latter part of 2018.
Okay.
Minkai, Sir Minister at the time, Matthew Poku Prempe, and I the deputies at the time, the current minister, Dr. Duchum, and Gifty Chum Ampofo. Womo ba committee any be in common FR the new standard based curriculum Debbie. At the same time Yansono na yeni ADHD they na ekoso.
Okay.
And this obasha mina medikai etro obroni beka articles FR new curriculum na omode buy na woman for a home nkrata textbooks MI. Tima church on one sem aka one sem sa. Me no kese. Mfiem yenu atwam. Ya ko mfiem yensa. And as we speak, still you need textbooks for basic schools based on the new curriculum. You need the trace you bisa questions. Afi etwemu June 11th. Me ama woda. Okay. I'm a June born. Wow. So Papa J Nkwara. Wow. So no or you June born. June born. Yeah, na say emoja shit. I say akasa yen stroke. And June 4. You born na born. O pa ko shepo. I know. Me kwa me wafa your friend afoko. To be ant me nyam foko. Short here say. Yeah. Almost 3 years down the line. And June 11th. My boss, Honorable Nochukotoy, I was ranking member, Committee on Education. I'm a deputy. Yeah. And I filed a question to Minister of Education. ABC said, the bank and textbooks based on the new curriculum, no. Ebedu your sukus, are buying sukus. Minister, yeah, no. Okasa bebre. But want me and my adapting another bosumi potin schools no ebenya books no. And I'm sorry. Yame madam. You can't parliament. I caught the eye of the speaker. Speaker ehu me. And our mama kwine semen so mimbisa. There was a mimbisa. Na mimbisa minister. Say catcher Ghana for catcher a church for catcher and Korano. Catcher awufo eda potin anase bosumi potin a books yi ya twen ebeko schools no ama atumi aboa adisua minister video no ho Hansard no so ho minister eka say bosumi miensa, and this was on June 11th 2021. Okay, that in 3 months the books should be in the schools. 2020, yes, on June 11th. Inti, what do you say? June 11th. June 11th. Yes, 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 July and all of July, to all of August, 6 months, all of September. Yeah. Voila. Yeah. You and I may file a substantive question on the same issue. Minister Eba Parliament on the 10th of December 2021. Abero Bayano was you Abe Grana Yebe tender na yeyi omwa wome qualify na yamo contracts and the processes are ongoing. And I'm sorry, I'm saying, Minister, let me put a hands out no. I want me bag him. Okay. Me put a hands out no. And I me J quine I will speak so. So woman me quine na minkin kind. The minister na be kind on the 11th of June 2021. Let me kind the minister na kind. I was a minister. You were in this house and you told us that the tendering process had concluded and that contracts had been awarded and that in 3 months the books will be. So why are you today giving us a different story? And the essence said the whole kind June 11th and then the whole June 10th. Ebo Brano. What that Gano for? And the parliament a chow. Pa awufo any Kwarano, any Ghana for in Acho. Say you misled us by giving us an assurance that the books would be in the schools by September. And today we are in December. One pa chow. Toka and say Obi wa Ghana. O pepa se books no. Ebedu yam Kwarano ewo schools no mo. Na ono ya educhu. Eti he will not give his colleague, or the certain criteria me say. He won't give his colleague Dr. APAAK He won't give any timeline. And this hour, yeah, he knows that his colleague will come back again to ask him. Until now, we don't even know. From June na nanka yewojidie say in 3 months time September books ne beba no. Ama December time misa bisa ya no. Africa we don't even have a clue as to when books based on the standard based curriculum would be in our classrooms. Until this is where we are. Wow. Entirely a display of gross disrespect and insensitivity, gross incompetence on the side of government and those managing our education. I mean, where does this happen? That almost 3 years down the line, you voluntarily decided to change the curriculum. You justified it. We all admitted. And yet up to today, we don't even have, is it rocket science? Say any books. Nanamunim. And another cano. When we were about to change the curriculum, you know because you should allow the old curriculum to continue. You have launched the new one. But wait with the implementation to get the books. And then as for before you bring an end to the old curriculum. Oh, the Ethiopia, yan kamasem, they can't oboguye. Today, it is only Ghana that I know, in the West African sub-region, in the entire continent, where a curriculum has been introduced, and almost 3 years down the line, you need textbooks. And make no mistake, so teachers, you know, we have prepared instructional packages. Now, instructional packages, those are temporary interventions. Now, what is standard about the new standard-based curriculum? When you don't have standard textbooks based on the new standard. Oh, our teachers are ingenious. Yes, we know. Our teachers are ingenious, not out of excitement, out of the fact that the conditions of service and the accoutrements and tools are what I don't know anywhere. So they have to be creative. But I have taught before, any teacher will tell you, say, teacher need any moving encyclopedia. So subject area textbooks and instructional material, no, they are necessary for proper teaching and learning to take place. And what school say? What is their reference material? How do you assign them homework? From what? And let's no one be delusional in thinking, say, it is okay for us not to have textbooks accompanying the new curriculum. In any case, you say standard. On what standards are the teachers teaching them? But they are being creative. And the teacher be a worker, or the saying, school be a word denta. Or he's being creative. So I was saying, on what the content. Now the people are more class 4. Also being creative. So in this creativity, by the teacher who is teaching primary 4 in the school in Adenta, and the creativity by a teacher who is teaching primary 4 in English, Arabic, primary information. Where is the standardization? Set the West standard, what is here?
Yeah.
And that is where we are. Most unfortunate.
But normal practice and sendness and I'm open and combined to be found while wipe off the old curriculum.
And Americano. You make sure, say, new curriculum now de bano.
Yeah.
No one can are you ready?
Okay.
That is the logical thing to do. So, what me and Sana, then there can be an abrupt end to the existing curriculum. We wait within 1 week. As soon as you have prepared the new one,
okay,
then you just replace it. So almost training teachers in the
yeah.
But you didn't do all of that. And then suddenly you just truncated it. Do you know, sir, the new standard-based curriculum, no, was supposed to be from KG to JHS3.
New way.
Yes. Anya calendar no.
Okay, yeah,
curriculum no.
Yeah, curriculum.
But as I said, one man to two ye a buyer you raise issues about lack of textbooks and as if for basic no. They did not introduce it at the junior high school level. So whilst primary 1 down was being instructed on the basis of the new curriculum. Of course, with our textbooks, you know. Junior secondary school 1 to 3 were still on the old curriculum.
Some women net here.
I tell you the truth. It is now that you're training JHS teachers, you know, on the new standard-based curriculum. It is ongoing. And saying I say teachers in the training, TNT, 10 series, 15 series, 30 series.
Somewhere last week, right?
Voila.
Yeah. Because minya report from Tamale.
Voila. So the point I'm making is that you see that very clearly. The same could have been done for KG to primary 6. In kind say but be as it may, let's hope that we'll see some improvement. So that is the situation with the new standard-based curriculum. And in fact, let me finish on this point. December, GES, ministry, 2 GES, conducted the first national standard test for Nkwara Primary 4.
Yeah.
And only a part of the new curriculum now, Modiabano. So, if you be able to test more primary 2, primary 4, primary 6, and JHS 2. So, you bet me access or more competencies. Say about Nkuntabuo, and English, and as a brofo, enjoy. That test now here in December. No? It was supposed to have been done for all these categories maturity.
Okay.
But they decided to do only primary 4. And umpono say the omoye no that deviated from original concept, because the concept on the basis of standard-based curriculum no is that the pupils will be assessed in their schools, in their classrooms, under the immediate supervision of their teachers in their local environments. But as I say, woman bobo mu huye no. Wayik no moko frɛ no. Ɛna wayik ɛna seti test no. Ɛna wayik nso no so onima wayik uses the cluster system. And that defeats the entire purpose. Because osha enkwara ne bi answer the papers no kwa bedu be sentence no on betro no. Now about 12. Ebi kura 3. And I say rural, yes, rural areas no. Electricity any ho. Schools no mpo duana a walk chroma electricity e ho. It is not connected to electricity. Some of the students were writing the test. We were talking about 8, 9-year-olds with flashlights, torchlight. I have the videos. And yeah, so yeah, ceiling no. You imagine a 4-year-old.
Wow.
I mean, a 4-year, a class 4 people.
Yeah.
You are far free. Min Krasi said Bachongsa. Edward Kanjaga. Almost about 20 kilometers. Abobo Yao. Yanka bus, Yanka truck.
Abobo Yana den Kodanako.
Yes. If you cry accidents, April prior.
Because of that exam.
Exactly, because they had to be moved from their schools to the center. The point I'm making is that empo the abana aka so be no. Say the osi eye no no. Ebo ebura any the watchra to ho se obeye. And the reason is that because of inadequate preparation. Meaning say no mo sika mo ni sika down I don't know. The test had to be postponed twice. The third time no mo try.
Class 4 people there no.
Omo parliament. Minister Baya Yebedi budget hunkomo. This was around the budget hearing. You catch and say, Baby Adwi, she signed postpone it to 2022. And let's go back to the original format of the people writing this test in their schools during normal school hours, during normal school days, under the direct supervision of their teachers in their communities. 1, to reduce their anxiety. And they have never gone away from their comfort zone. Me cross it donenga. Woman ko kanjarada. With their parents, one be piokra on ne mame, ne papa, ne penny. Then you have to transport them. Very dangerous conditions. Some were involved in accidents. I have the videos. You take them to the center. Anxiety. A new environment. Strange people are only momo.
Yeah.
How do you get a true assessment of the competency of a class 4 people under these conditions? So the entire method now use just to save face so that they can say that they have done it defeats the reason why the test itself was conducted. Because what you want to nkofo mo body paper won hu mo da ekuro mo de na yede na akoso won kwotro won ko bi da abobo ya akra bia won tira mo da. So this is what is going on when we say that the managers of our educational system are doing a poor job and that education in Ghana is in a crisis. This is a very typical example.
Me bese bibisa BBC no ya na budget no capture na say ebia the issue about say ye change curriculum and say printed textbooks tikasem say na ya na tie na enkwada idie eno no ya na GS ana say education ministry ana collabo eno mo nyina ye
say the tie say your main budget for the ministry.
Okay,
but within the main budget no agencies now a ministry now they have their sub budgets.
Okay,
it is also ministry budget. There is the allocation for the Free Senior High School, which goes to the Free Senior High School Secretariat. Nanka afiba akwa etwemu, it was under the office of the president and the government machinery, but it has now been moved to the ministry. Then you have others like GES itself, TVET. You have non-formal education. Under the ministry, I think there are about not less than 15 agencies. Eti omu nyina omu budget no. Collectively no. Now you the account ministry na budget. Then that becomes the budget for the sector. Unless I go through my documents to give you specifics.
Okay.
But enumpo no enye ni nyina na womu tim specifics are wombeye. Usually no. Unless it is something new.
Okay.
But by and large, yeah, they come under broad headlines. But when it comes to the expenditure, that is where breakdown is given. So that is the way it works.
Okay. Abusian for a friend who tuning in now. Pampa so live, and I will hear from our studios, Radio Gold 905 FM on Facebook, and other affiliate stations. One more APAAK Jumadino, Ede Amaye, and Newe, Yene Honorable Dr. Clement APAAK. Ena edin komo or educationist enti abano and ngomasuan sense money trima boye papa enya asem kto komra shebedwafia committee ayatia womo ehwabo atoto niam Ghana ngomasuan etimi agina ne naso no pacho papa yi deputy ranking member okan bia eno nso so enya asem ketwa enti yenka na yenhye so far no curriculum ne textbooks awdoa emaye no yedi ho enkomo enso so awie kama are yebekọ ye chikakra ne ahwe ana yekọ ye ne no yebebo wura yen basic schools no because eniema ebobo ba ne nya asem ketwa enche na doctor kro ya de betu dwa se a teacher for empem aduanan ha 44,000 on condition of service enye enunti enam so ama nei afi 2021 na enipa 44,000 and I do am chalk eto ho say omo enchere ade biem in basic level no. Doctor, you show basic education in Ghana.
Yo.
You say the foundation edema engumasuya. Engumasuya ne so ko yia e o man da ache ne di si yie no.
Sanity.
A teacher for 44,000. Omo so omo nchira ade biem. You share the condition of even acquire schools under treason because okay the interman business say a bano yen emrashebeda for majuma di potene say ya wa chirechire mu ye kama enti as a stance now, you get schools under trees, ever hodom. A quaben ye befaswa, San Yamani Nano, ye beat and concobase about Greater Accra, and Crane Kumase, Takra de Kofodia, Tamale, and ABI and cities in the year. Obakoromana, a ban of facilities na, and Emma Eko but Obako ye Nkura Nasino, na Enema Jason, but Toda Bia, a dan crank or that Timwa Asian Diano, Hana and what day. It ever far from the facility level, no, you are near share quite teacher for the fast war. Almost in basic education, no, one much radio will be more any year, nay, 1 day, 1 more a chalk at a form.
You want me to say? No, grand ever coupe. You know what I say? Communities be brave and population no. The more peja.
Okay.
More one quarter I was home school. But they are not going to school. They are not enrolled. And you're more pet. Yet, say, there are no schools established there. No structures. It be there. Omwa and Tubua. And Omo de ACC structures. And yachra Nkrano ade. It be so the Odikan Kaino. And Nkrano yachra Omade. Oh, in Riasi. That is because funding for basic education. If you say it has gone down. At the same time, get funder. Yede buy na yenyina yewojidie. So through that fund, you bet to me I provided more educational infrastructure. No? And now you did get fund no? Resources and Kawasa towards the construction of educational infrastructure. It is going to other activities.
Okay, yeah, establishing get fund, no, purposely for education.
Yes. I mean the full meaning of get fund, Ghana Education Trust Fund. For education.
Education,
no. Yes.
And then sa sikano.
Oh, yeah, the young man who do be wow. Unrelated to education.
I didn't see. What is the problem?
Now, sir, it is those who are managing the affairs of the country. They decide. And I make canon. And when I don't I just say, young for when you say, don't be normal fanya. When you say, get fund, and support to activities are a border on health and for
get fund.
Yes. If I know, I think I have the report. In terms of budget now, you have proven saying what the get fund report indicated. Say Juma Omwedi, any Juma Omubedi. That is one problem. The second issue is say abayi by or the get fund akosia wo. Get fund has been collateralized. And yedi koji loan. Or if you like, get fund was collateralized to raise from $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion.
And the reason was to complete uncompleted educational infrastructure and to add new ones. And I have the appendices of that request. I have it here. The number of structures. Omaka says 766.
766
existing uncompleted educational infrastructure will be completed with monies from the securitization of Get Fund. I know we say, to main country, 766, 500, and answer 600.
Intimate those uncompleted structures, from all levels are now.
Yes.
From basic to. Okay.
But do want to wait the anchor secondary.
Oh, okay.
And one of the justifications of mine is because of the introduction of the free senior high school, student population adoption. Okay. And we know that is the reason why the double track came into being. And when we hear Sikano to complete existing uncompleted educational infrastructure, to add new ones when necessary, as part of the effort to address the challenge of access in terms of physical infrastructure. So, get fund. But even so, no, I buy the wire, I buy, and some are buying yebi. Is the capping of earmark funds. Sir, National Health Insurance Fund, Get Fund, Road Fund. I was saying a certain percentage of national revenue. I think it should be 25% or so. I will check the figures. Should go to these funds. But this government has introduced capping, which is that after a certain threshold, any other money that comes in doesn't go to the fund. Exactly. You cap it.
Okay.
Into your money ceiling.
Yeah.
So it is not based on what the law provides.
Okay.
So they came to Parliament, and that was passed. And that is also reducing the quantum of money that should be going to these statutory institutions for them to use. And so in the area of education, one is the securitization, and two is the fact that it has been capped. So we can say, we on the NDC side, a private member's motion has been filed. And I think the promoters are Miami boss, Peter Nochukotoi, and Honorable Tuforsen.
Okay.
And then Honorable Kwame Adaklu. We are seeking to get Parliament to direct that government should decap Get Fund. So that's second year I say about Get Fund no. Then it me eba. It me eba. So the truth is that funding for basic education has not been adequate. And Get Fund to now is incapacitated because of the capping, and also loan now. Get Fund they have to pay interest on that loan.
Honorable Mebao, it is here no. Loan no mokoji no. Adwuma omka so mo de be no. Wo mo de aye wi ho akuntambo ne tisai.
De bia mo ba mo so mo yebi. But the name says 766 no mo document nini, and I can recite the projects, their locations, and then I see for you now.
Omka so
when I'm present it to Parliament.
Okay.
To justify
1.5 billion.
Yes, and this is the appendices. I have the main documents.
Okay.
At that time, I'm in the education committee.
Okay.
But as a researcher, I could join dormitories, dining halls, classroom blocks, e-blocks, and then that's it for. In fact, in this document, it captures 45 e-blocks.
45 e-blocks?
Yes. And the low now market general, because almost 45 e-blocks. Almost e-blocks.
For period and she say a down wing the pempens one saying the previous government na yakwa kodunti we dey you hear a week or two, a month or a year at their completely.
One kind say assessment. But I believe that assessment will have informed this. Because if you know you can't do it, why would you include it as justification for loan awokoje? We ask what is going on, how many in this document. I filed questions on all of this.
Over 700 structures?
Yes, maybe 766. I filed a question that we should be told how many of the 766 educational infrastructure, for which reason government came to Parliament to get permission to securitize Get Fund for the loan have been completed. I'm hoping say 25 year NCBA, we will get the responses. But I'll have my checklist.
Okay.
So that I will mark.
Yes.
Yes. Now my console ana ya mama for ya na be check. Say the e-blocks no.
Okay.
We ya be na sa pepe. Na ne kra na den. abededi.
Is it the case almost share that any document we buy say about this kind of the aqua before said the cast get found this year SK Kumo say the boang mosuani farm one. Wait me a sir.
And they mean to mention.
Okay.
I said, but Parliament is a house of records.
Okay.
Into Omoba Moya on Bemano. Yansu the anybody HRE. We will cross check and then confirm. Say any crew. Say any crew. Just Kabia could obi botomo. Say and pound a jumano. Anna Funya Betty.
I see.
Make sure me get fan report.
Near Shishabra. Abusia for many Dr. Clement APAAK and 18 komo enche moment time. Omo kala CLEMENT TV, you know. Okay. So the production team no me 18 komo hanom. Almost see 5 minutes. So in the next 5 minutes, you know, we'll be live on the multi TV, loud CLEMENT TV. And Timunina say mahunu say amanfo bebre ebisa loud silence nti omo nyina ba Facebook omo check it tune in so everybody mo betimi dey ato na wetimi akore but in less than 5 minutes, you know, we should be on loud CLEMENT TV, on multi TV interno no honorable constituency ni nyina womo ntimi ma Facebook na de omo multi TV ni nko ade ombe say honorable elhanu a ye hwe en krata no enso so ede aba or educationist interba say yeni nkomo emfamfa enwomasua ho a ohunu nimdie yie papa enya asem messages no ebi ohanom ye bekenkan bi kakra ansana yetimi ato aso a eno nso betimi aboa David Akposoi say basic education is the future development of every country which must well managed for that purpose. Or also the kakra or the Abanono Maria Adam say Nana Bruni has destroyed Mother Ghana. Or also the kakra no justice Ponyo say Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia has completely destroyed the Ghanaian educational system. A future government will struggle to restore sanity. Maybe sir, honorable say question and I said the future government. Okay, because now you're saying enkwada kra no ye mo enkwada ba untimi ntia kwada enkwada no bi nso ho no mo a wo mo nya nso hwe no anse nyina beko ye makwan ne ye makwan Maria Agbanyega yenua David Agbanyega ni sister ose Maria say loud silence is not coming very soon. Loud silence ebetia to mood adujei say our problem is our problem, okay, is the opposition don't go on the right platforms to let the public know what is going on. They instead go to media houses who are not prepared for such expose. Etina just say no. Would I do just say what's the problem now? How did you say the NDC? One moment kwenya ekoko radio so na they said ne enka ya twe onabo aba here ha no ba onabo say 2 hours kra na so pa 3 hours na so pa ye de maw cheche onsem nyina e ma Ghana for ehunu ne yeko but also mo call the other side na pass obe mo be 2 hours ana even 1 hour no ano be dene papa ana enya de kwese besi o ka na o pa ba ho ntoma no o ma kwan da na je say eno so eno okay so we are live on Loud CLEMENT Television on Multi TV. Yenu ana mo a mo wo eje chichi ne benche ni nyina no Loud CLEMENT aba 22 countries Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria and other countries aka in Africa. And Loud CLEMENT echo enti nyina enkai na yen shene so my guest ene Dr. CLEMENT APAAK enti yen nyina enkai na yen shene so am I what you know?
Me sure, but me nya Hansard. But me per specific section.
Okay.
But we can continue while I'm looking for.
Okay. Me pass a share teacher for ne no.
Very well.
Then you see NTA teacher for pim adua 99 44,000. You know say teacher to student ratio kra no a problem e wo Ghana. E ba no say.
You me da say. Sa asemwe anya me na meka na ya beka se bia Dr. APAAK de wodom NDC
na waka no hu bi
enti wonpe Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia ne MPP fo asem nti wasɔre ana ɔkeka nsɛm egu ɔmo so. Nti no, I'm going to refer to Africa Education Watch. One of the recognized, reputable education sector think tank. What they create to Edu Watch New Year statement on the education sector. Now, working team points, Bako 10. You are met me the way I'm.
Okay.
So, we share point number 1, which is what I also repeated and put out.
Okay.
Challenges with teacher rationalization. Quote, in 2021, about 44,000, over 15% of teachers left the basic school system with no replacements. While the ongoing effort to recruit some 16,000 teachers is commendable, it does not even address the deficit halfway. The Ministry of Education must ensure the posting of all teachers being recruited to deprived districts where they are needed, devoid of any protocol considerations. In addition, the many districts with surplus teachers should be decongested and teachers reposted to empty classrooms in deprived districts where they are most needed. EduWatch's foremost priority for 2022 is to support the Ministry of Education by monitoring teacher posting and teacher deployment in general, in line with the Minister's vision of one teacher per classroom. Our quote, "Every child deserves a teacher" campaign will be launched later this month. So we have reasonable grounds. And this information, as far as I know, was obtained from reports and documentations by the ministry and its agencies. And they say a cast teacher for 44,000 have worked out. And I'm going to African Education Watch in Eka. These conclusions, although African Education Watch did, or yet field assessment, and there is no reason to doubt them. This conclusion is based on more documents and more reports.
Yes.
Of course, we didn't manufacture this. As some way by a PRO of spokesperson for Ministry of Education. I'm saying no yana. Many no Kofi Asare, African Education Watch, were on Focus on GTV. What's it? Spokesperson so anya no kra omo you say wo ma ja edusuano tie mi o
Metio pa wona bo
wo mo ye napkofo wo mo ye temporary teachers and na asefo ana mpono omo ndu 44 be 34 but in that case, are you not even telling us that the problem is bigger? So we had these many unprofessional persons teaching in our basic schools. And you know, asamna abano. Now
okay.
And to save face, they are now trying to proffer all kinds of reasons. If you are be sending me say I got it wrong. The number of teachers by his checks who left the classroom in 2021 were not even up to 1,000. I'm saying, now even the PRO, the spokesperson for the ministry, has admitted. HUN said, and 44,000, here 34.
34,000.
And I was also saying, professional teachers. And you are telling me that they are less than, or they're saying 1,000. And the baby, no one. Dr. Clement APAAK agrees with Africa Education Watch that 44,000 teachers, which is 15% of the total population of teachers in the basic school system, which is just about 285,000, left the classroom. if they want to prove us wrong, they should give us the total number of teachers the year before and this year. And let's do the calculations. And you see, don't be surprised. Because conditions of service, it is nothing to write
about. After going through that report, now I'm raising the DNT. DNT almost said,
oh, because we didn't interview those who left the classroom.
Okay.
We can only speculate. And the most basic reason is that the teachers are not satisfied with the conditions of service. What are we doing? So, you don't feel satisfied in terms of the conditions now. Would you continue? So it is all about the conditions of service. It's entirely about the condition of service. Because look, you know who can say basic education. Sir, you bought capitation grant.
Yeah.
Areas 4 trenches now. The purpose of the capitation grant, and as a headmasters of the basic schools, won't make to me I any man kitchen a hard dream, and I say a bebois ama at the trainer edition akoso. For example, chalk. ABA mock exam. ABA took crow bakum you be and I say puno bakum you be and I say being part blackboard no a swapper. Those kinds of basic things. It they have not been paid for 4 trenches. So because of that, many of the heads of the basic schools, Busian or Omobo Busian editor. Yeah, and we here almost say 18th. No mobile basic schools.
Yeah.
Suddenly, introducing a new calendar. I have a KG for a semester. Umbeko school for 20 weeks. The heads of basic schools, at least I've received about 4 calls and messages. The bare necessities, chalk, omunibi. You don't know about Busian, I'm better about Busian.
Chalk, right?
Yes. 4 trenches. Government has not paid. Textbooks, I can't want some.
Yeah.
We have spoken about the issue of teachers leaving the class. And now, the new pre-tertiary calendar. As I remember, so the first point was when public basic schools were reopened. And this, I think I wrote that piece on the 10th of this month. That was the day private basic schools. ABA. Then our parents know a friend, me messages, teacher for a friend. What is happening? Why is it that private basic schools have reopened? Abra ayem eda public basic schools, which is the schools that many school age going people attend. For private schools, I know Biana, the bottom, emu do say obit me edeneba akọ private school. About 3 days after, and a young say Abayan say public basic schools, they will reopen on the 18th.
And I'm a committee, so I'm
18th. Now, in which yet say there was a technical committee chaired by Deputy Minister. Womudi sa a new calendar no hunjuma. No more betu jano. Hey, young Basha na afidie. Yes, say semester system no is going to be extended all the way to KG. And I say, but what informed this decision? And the Yampo, as a minority, you issue a statement. The attorney say, "In your antese at your chair phone, women ho, Ronibeka, on one air that they were not consulted They were not consulted.
Yeah.
You can say, with this new policy, it will affect the number of hours. One measure idea. Yes. No almost no union.
Yeah.
And a union so no. Yeah, almost negotiate with government.
Okay.
The conditions of service.
Okay.
The conditions of service necessarily have to do with the number of hours that one renders a service. By bringing this into being, sir, that is now the status quo. Trimester system no yetwa no. Nka wo say aban empenimfo na omotenase. Na omototo adwen. Na say omogitum say these changes are necessary and justified. Then they look at the implications for them in terms of hours one betchradie, days one betchradie, weeks one betchradie. That has not happened. And the union leaders, NAGRAT, NAT, CCT, woman say ministry, NGS, woman train sa semester calendar no, woman train sign. The answer of form which we stand by them, we support them because they are in the theater. But even from our side, you know, you say semester system now you practice it senior high school. I buying at the core junior high as an experiment. No?
Yeah.
The semester system in the secondary level, now you deliberate policy. A byproduct of the poorly implemented free senior high school policy. And I covered it so a buy. So then, you know, it was okay. These are the challenges that we are facing. We didn't plan properly to implement. We all know the challenges. And we saw the double track. We know the double track. And so why they back. And I covered in so a semester for secondary school. Temporarily. I OGD Sanka. We e-blocks. Any schools are you see here be a drew classroom blocks and nasifwa a be drew 80%, 90% area no. Come here no nyina. Nanka double track no yebe den yebe twem. Enti if that is a temporary measure, then why are we now extending a stopgap temporary measure all the way down to the KG level? They've not been able to give us any cogent scientific basis for this change in policy with serious implications for Anquarano. But I want to mean can't say Aquara wedding fear na infinum the attention span, the ability to absorb knowledge. Obetumia kusku atwasu sa busminum. I mean, it's going to become torture. And the other factor, based on extension of the semester system to the junior high school, checks our African Education Watch. Actually, say even at the junior high school level, in the latter part of the semester, say 5 months, from 4 months, absenteeism and truancy had increased among the students. Fatigue. And that is even at the junior high school level. Now think about the KG level. Primary 1, primary 2, primary 3.
We are talking about 4 years old.
Exactly.
4 or 5 years.
Exactly. And you see, Nka, what would define a problem now? And I will be invite stakeholders. Mijidi say we wouldn't have gotten where we have. But the thing say this was unilaterally done. So pretended by a deputy minister who was made to chair, when in fact this process should have been handled by the bureaucrats, the Director General and his deputies. So even the entire process is unprofessional. This should be left to the professionals to do their work.
But Deputy Minister Akasa, I think so. What my project I've sent it to Sabiga. Please come now. Branabe the Emma Mohanum. Near Shadia. They are saying, say, was it new academic year semester calendar will not be changed. Deputy Education Minister. So calendar no that o screen so a wo share. Mo am last Silence TV on Multi TV no. Calendar no and that ho a wo share no. So on my first semester starting 18th January. Na akwa kopim somewhere June 10th. Between June 10th kopim June between June 9th and June 10th no. As I said vacation ekoso. But almost mid semester break which ever started from 12 April 12 April to 18th April 2022. And 1 year Easter break on the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 5 days. Now grandma be home. Oma be di Easter no omoko. At the first semester no at the levels no in school 18 January 2022 ekopim 9th June till 9th June 2022. January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months. Calendar no ha me chiche mo dia cho no bia o hwe graph no na bia ho se de etia sa pepe na ho nom. Na omama kwan 10th June akopim 25th July. 10th June to 25th July. Na omama kwan. Then the second semester no unse ya choba be in school. Now time we be school no ankra be school no. 26th July. 26th July ekopim 16th December. Now omama kwan 17th December. And oma choba be until next academic year. Time we be school ni there. Ehon no one more entimi amfamba. So we come up baby yedru no the academic calendar for a year 2022, a year season imono, and also so I don't know. But honorable, sir, abaya my a space is here and what I say ye be school January. I wanna calendar no air chassis. Now ye fanko ye December the year before COVID. Near him say you did 9 months in school. All 3 terms. Now so the other 3 months no ya cheche emu ediama vacation. Me wo a year me wo private schools no. One so calendar wa ha. And my I don't know say you beti me show school no there na private school because school be there. School be there I don't know say you beti me show okay say you ntimi show I think I have it here. Mame empe emra ya ye ho adwuma dada but let me see mame share okay so the be simple amame no mame nkoma ni me ko ha na ma hu dia omukọ 14 weeks I know time a woman dey ko 14 solid weeks. So let me go to their WhatsApp page and I think a one be proper metimi afine it na person me dey bisa question wa na nka ona bon so dey anu yiba itina no aba me ehunu me bajo screenshot no with deputy minister na dey no fato oma atifo nso hu dey o say there's no way womo ebe resend this decision
I know the mesmate
but akokoba na sa ona bo hardwene
na say omo abo chira dey no
is an imposition
yeah, and that is what the teacher unions have said, that this was a unilateral decision made which is being imposed on them and they don't accept it. And we in the NDC in Parliament, we support the position of the teachers because omona omochradie. And Americano, so far we have not been given any scientific research-based justification because 3-term system no. Omuntu min kanchre baby a atochma emwa addition. Yeah, the arguments that they are giving, obete you say was say you realign academic calendar no, so that there will be synergy from senior high school, junior high school, and KG to P6. Obete say it is being done as part of the effort to cure teacher absenteeism. Oh no, they have not given us any document. You know, Minister Canada, Deputy Canada, Deputy Director General Canada. So we are yet to see a documented justification. So, Bakum Yunumi say, Kanina na ye 3-term system no. Emwa. Enti no. Yes, system. We have not seen any such document. But if you are even talking about teacher absenteeism, how is the changes in the academic calendar of pre-tertiary schools going to cure the challenge of teacher absenteeism? When NDC was in power under Professor Nana, we brought it down from 27% to 7%.
Okay.
Did we have to change an academic calendar? We didn't. So that cannot be a justification. And you know, the only justification is the realignment. But the realignment, ought to be temporary. But say it has come to stay. We have problems with that. Because when any scientific research, just as for experiment, we are yet to see a report of the outcome of the introduction of the semester system at the JHS level. I would have thought, say, give us a foundation, basic school, and a foundation. Rather, the realignment should be in favor of strengthening the basic school sector, not to put it at a disadvantage. It is going to be at a disadvantage to primary KG to primary 6. We've talked about people and student fatigue.
January.
That is it.
9th June.
That is it. What is their capacity to endure? More university in semester. Call them. When I was teaching there, even me call school, Legon, 1992. Then I share semester system. I entered Legon in 1992. It wasn't easy for me. I was 22 years old.
I was 4 months.
And it wasn't easy. Then I did 22. And you are telling my 4 or 5 year old son or daughter to go to school 20 weeks? I mean, come on. It just cannot be right. And that is why the teacher unions are kicking against it. It's not just the issue of workload now, but we don't lecture pupils, we teach them.
Okay, me the document be ato a screen so na as near America no private schools in the video yate school na fi ho ya twa school na ina fi onti said be ya obi ankonko hu a school bi as a calendar na akwa pie no nti we afi private schools no nchen na eba na sane aban your friend is saying a semester based from KG level to JHS no abama January akopim December private schools na tenase and almost draw trimester tititidie no and almost so call today are saying say okay say no about kan no I be a school 10th and 11th and an so be a school which is last week.
That's right.
Tuesday and will be according to our calendar no call for 14 weeks. Week 1 started January 11th to 14th. Week 2 17th to 20th. Another day 20th 21st. Dinami adoma ochena no week 2 awie. Ebe kwa pim. On vacation April 14th. And on matro as you say school days for second term about running from May 9th to August 11th. That's the second term. Can't we do same as for the public schools? Because I buy a day a period number say yen started from January up to December. Yen team draw a trimester no within that period.
Nasa yedi yanka you say trimester no. And he said,
okay.
Teacher for say it should be reinstated. Semester no, Yanchin sign. And that's Yanchin saying.
Yeah.
And we support that for obvious reasons. You see that the private schools, they have decided to maintain.
Yeah.
There's good reason for that. Because that is the right thing to do. You don't punish the base of the structure to satisfy distortions at the apex of the structure. And one thing a teacher for say we there in Kenya, and we agree with them. Sure. When you say we talked about the challenges.
Yeah.
We talked about schools under trees. All of these conditions are not conducive for a semester system. What are you going to do in the rainy season? A school under trees.
Yeah.
We have dilapidated classrooms. Classrooms with no furniture. Classrooms with no ventilation at a time of COVID. And I say, COVID. I mean, you have a lot of reasons that would make this proposal objectionable. They've not been able to prove to us why this has to happen. And that is the point.
Yeah, what you have as schools under trees or villages. No?
Exactly.
June, July, and in
the distance between the schools and the communities, some of the students, baby or moteno, acquaint them. Some of them have to cross streams.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, sometimes error. But you see, it's because we are not allowing the technocrats to lead. And we are not opening up the space for proper dialogue, stakeholder dialogue. I don't think they're be you.
I don't think I need to make comments. I said, you can. You fight one more education is Momra, Mometrase, and this informal DMR, MPP form the DMR, Moamaku school do a tria, a man and Momosuya, Makadari,
Mama, Yacabre,
Womosua, woman in your line with any political parties and Momrani and translation once and for all. Can't you do that, honorable?
May say, himself, Monfreme. But I'm from here.
As a deputy ranking
Nipa Dubwana and Waho and Omonim dear. Former Director Generals. Sir, I say, have you a who said Minister and former Ministers for Education cry ACI? Yeah, war education area think tanks. I first no more education watch no more. I didn't ask for. We even have the likes of Anif and Co. Educations. So it shouldn't even be about, inviting the political class.
Okay.
Deal with the civil society and non-state actors. They would not have presented this calendar. Teachers now say, women to me and Fanyejuma. But we are watching them. But our support is with the teachers. But we are going to file questions in Parliament to the minister. Now, we need a justification. But we know we can say none of them is based on any science and research and data. Yeah, the only thing that makes sense somewhat is the realignment. But even the realignment, they got it upside down. You don't realign in favor of the middle, which is secondary and tertiary. You should be realigning in favor of the basic, because that's the foundation. I mean, all of these V blogs, teaching students about aeronautics and civil engineering, as if for who is going to feed the students into the secondary for you to do that? Is it not a foundation?
Okay.
It's not a basic. So you're quite an answer by. These are some of the issues.
Okay.
Policy inconsistency, the introduction of policies to the policy documents, no sense of direction, no proper definition of the issue and what the policy is seeking to address. Even free senior high school as we speak. It is 5 years now. I think we're about 6. Have you ever seen a policy document about a free senior high school? See, we are still groping in the dark. Even with free senior high school, we are groping in the dark. There's no policy document to guide. Where will be?
My name will be so. Say, yeah, business, my policy document, yeah, since 2017, 2018 academic season, yeah, business,
and I say it here.
But my problem is that if Saudi will continue for the next 3 years, because we are in 2022, 2023, they will have the whole year 2024. I go into the elections. A koba say a buy sisa na buy for bar, which is the NDC government bar. Honorable. Also, so make say me so me plan here. Now, you sign revert back to the normal trimester now. And young kwadana na how. Looks as if I say you ensure any direction for education because President Kufuor the 4 years senior high school by from Samuel's by or Sandy Koy Emma and 3 years now na ka ho no. Can't you sit down once and for all?
How are you going to do that once and for all when those who are doing this are not preparing to engage stakeholders? We would engage stakeholders. Okay. Some of them say even EFA Free Senior School, we are. So if we get the mandate, we would organize a national stakeholders forum. And that is what you do for a national policy. Especially so, once a policy you are implementing at least for about 3 or 4 years. It's even time for a review. And Mampeni, incoming NDC flag bearer, John the Mama, Kaya, you see what say, when you say you are going to review, it doesn't mean you are going to cancel. So, look, we would follow the experts, their advice, their knowledge. We would follow the data and the science. And once our mama said this semester system is not conducive and will not enhance effective teaching and learning. No. Your banner say almost say they are sure almost as they are saying now. We will just simply revert to what was there. It's as simple as that. But we will do so not because we want to, but we will do it because those who are responsible for ensuring that our wards get the needed education are saying it. And that is why we would side with the teachers on this and any other matter. Because that they know what they are saying. They are the professionals. They are in the classrooms. They know the deficiencies and advantages of the two models. So if they are saying, say, the semester system is not conducive for the basic school system, at least primary 1 to 6 now, why should we argue with them? And I'm hoping, say, instead of government taking an entrenched position, won't you know sign? Because it's not the minister, it's not his deputies, it's not the director general. They are not going to be in the classrooms teaching. It is going to be the members of NAT, NAGAT, and CCT. So at any point in time, on clear-cut matters like this, by default, we should be supporting their position. And that's exactly what we are doing.
I see.
In addition to other factors, you say will not be conducive. Say schools under trees, dilapidated classrooms, lack of furniture, poor ventilation, learner fatigue. And then I say for 20 weeks, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and then what a PhD.
Okay, obviously, you're so thinking, but me bajo ye teacher ni na o share program na ya dedicated program no dia ma aye education. Enti ye besre o ye teacher ni a na o information bi na person de ba, o question bi na person de ba. Number we obetimi WhatsApp number obetimi dia faso 0248 236589 0248 236589 0248236589 obu ohaya no mpeso baba betwro Facebook wo no ho na obi monitor na odinidin ekọ because yenim system a ye wom sesi a eti WhatsApp number na de obi nim se wo de bibia ba ompese bebe odin so a no watwro ahase questions bi a wo ho a opese emisa onabo no eno so on mother appropriate time no ye be bie tetefo no e de atum na so do adwenkyira ba na questions bi ano na watime bisa ene no enye on education nko a education ho komo de bedi ye din komo no ko chiri kakra na ye be switch kakra bia ko ba but ene no dodo na aye ye ma na ngoma sua wote sa ne ye pa ebia na ntembajo sa video no mani nso ye nkwara na bia school teacher for no nkwara nso mo nko school biem ebia omo la silence tv no womo okay enti ore esa later no on be sa video ni aba mpacho me ka se frɛ line no me say wo WhatsApp message and say SMS crana about education obetimi de ato wonom na yetimi akokoden akoyanim na yebisa honorable deputy ranking member education parliament Ghana's parliament enti ano so eno no honorable ya free SHS kakra na man for Gaza free SHS ya ba beboa ohwe aban past questions here tisika millions of cities ekotoma ankwada yi na ebi mu say enrollment increment bia amam na because of covid inti and a double track system no etimi ebaye na yepe real figures na yem picking from previous years no previously okay under NDC government yesen kwara ba betray exams no a na year no and na obehu say kwada etimi wie school ni because obetimi start school no wie and now be Emma drop out and so etimi eba edianhwe free senior high school no implementation no pempenso e de aba bedru afambi no atimi aboa o my Ghana
yo me das
ngoma sua
yan yaka say free senior high school policy no is derived from the constitution of the Republic of Ghana ana so ne mun so a 2012, 2016, 2020 yedi sankomoy na am say 2016 ana Ghana for Emma MPP kwan say womum embebu man no megiri say answer na ye be free aban mu no na ya hyase edi hu dwuma na ye fees be baako 11 and free prospectus no na your program be so a na enkwara ne bia o ma wo for entumi enya de o mbenya se o mbetua fees ni nyina na o mo de yetua fees no ayeden ema o but akufa do no be di ade no omo si omo ye ne at once but enyina nim say on buy no nkwara na omo wo second and third year womo am benefit from free senior high school na ene ya de kasam and to broni beka invariable no they also came and adopted a gradualist approach instead of the wholesale approach.
Okay.
They didn't start off with the full complement. Say, all the students from SSS1 to SS3 were benefiting. It was only those who entered SS1 in 2017. And I share say, sa program ya muso mo de baye no. Womo enya ho emphasis. But we said that we have never been opposed to a free senior high school policy because it is something that is in the constitution.
Okay.
But we wanted to put in place certain structures working on expanding existing educational infrastructure, adding new educational infrastructure, training more teachers before we got to the full-blown implementation of what the Constitution requires us to do. You know, the kaya almost say, yeah, yempesa enkwara eboko school, yempesa enkwara omo free enkwara say na omo awofo ni bi ebeko school. Omokoye, then buy. We all saw what happened. The issue of inadequate space. Me know can say. And on a aditi through a double track no a buy.
Okay.
Ye nyina ye hu say bibi ankora no beda. Ekoye asem. Ebi de dam bonten. Omo box na mattresses nyina isisi abonten. Bibi ombe didi. Science lab, classrooms, dormitories. Now be asem. When we anti and a double track no a buy. And as we speak even today, the Yamina Maker, Medikai Ebo, heads of government assisted secondary schools. One more conference at let me say November. Nyama mutin timi ya baku 18 issues recognized by CHAS as militating against effective teaching and learning in the secondary schools. And to know, it is not just about the students passing. Because naturally, the population is always increasing. And by dint of population increases, every year you would expect that the number of students who are coming on stream will be higher than the previous year. Especially so when you have taken away the processes of sieving. It is also what one needs to enter a secondary school from a junior high school. When we were in power versus today, no. The grading system, the minimum requirements, and we should not use the natural increase in student population as a basis for self-adulation. That should not be the case. Look, as we sit now, we are here to get the new figures with the freshers now, Omako School, no? SHS. No? As of last academic year, the total number was just slightly above 1.2 million students.
Okay.
And look at the burden on the teachers in terms of the workload. I can just cover the buy. You close down schools for 10 months now. Those who teach core subjects and management of the school, Builsa, house mistress, headmaster, they had never gone on rest and I say vacation. Well, when green is moving out, another color is moving in. And that puts a burden on the teaching and non-teaching staff. The area of feeding, the heads of government-assisted secondary schools had threatened not to reopen the schools earlier this month. And the 5th. The chance na in Yanianka was a bedio munsum, Nasa and Korana Ba. Who made me enya Ibriane paid. Provision had not been made. It was last minute that as a result of that pronouncement by CHAS, government rushed to find stopgap measures to provide resources for the procurement of food items. But within the supply chain of food to the schools, in Kaneno Nanke, headmaster, Builsa, Darling Hall Prefect, now Omati Committee, now Martinasi, now draw a menu for the term. They be a Saturday, depending on the school, Gary and beans. In other schools, Saturday, they be banku. In other schools, Saturdays, they may eat jollof rice. Yeah. It is no longer like that.
Yeah, they are not Sundays, eat jollof.
Fantastic. Men so sound my secondary technical. Gabins, no Saturday.
Yeah.
We are not we are prophet na eja when you create video and I was a house prefect.
Wow.
And, you know, we know that was the way it was. But with the change in the policy, the introduction of the free senior school policy, you know, this has now been centralized and it is being controlled by buffer stock. And the buffer stock is responsible for contracting suppliers to supply the food to the schools. And what is happening is that I'm trying to look for the APAAK report. What is happening is that many of those who get these supply contracts, you know, are party apparatchiks. And because the system has been centralized, Womu decided the Omodi commerce schools, you know. And I do Omodi commerce schools, you know. The headmaster and the managers of the school, no, they have no say. For example, we have instances where schools have become dumping grounds of expired or almost expired canned food items. But headmasters, no, only one will be one. We have instances where some schools, for example, if they are given a geographical location in the local area, there is a comparative advantage in certain food items.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the contract will be on supply. And so we have instances where the quantity anka was a cost school soon. Yet so, the headmaster no want to make instances where a biana school no yedi kan kan no komo menu no gari ni dua pa no mudi. Anka e bia wo pe be gari boto be edu anase dumino. Na wo pe dua be boto edumino. And so na supplier na yes on supply school no. Now the among kwa kotoku boto baku 100 no dey be so want to make a trade. And that is why it has generated some barter trade. Ubetia yes school way yama say so well, you give them 100 bags of rice, they don't need 100 bags of rice, so they have to trade 50 bags in exchange with another school or another supplier to get what they need. And APAAK, this is the APAAK report, Free Senior High School Implementation Monitoring Report 2018-2019, date December 2019. And they have made their findings. And Yamina America, so Ukana with the document number. Na watch or say challenges food supply, non-involvement of the school in the selection of suppliers, corruption risk associated with food supply, poor quality and unwholesomeness of supplies, delay and timeliness of supplies. I said, under oversupply of food items and provisions. This is the APAAK report, and that is the truth.
Because I remember
and that
time money across secondary school was I glass
very well.
Now I could do a brew was a bayra because you need by from side.
Fantastic.
And Tinomuni bruni for
and that is the way that is the way it should be. And even in the area of the provision of food, I ask them. And that is why you hear some of the students complaining. What if your friend Gary Jollof?
Gary Jollof, yeah, I'm saying, incorrect person last me who be internet.
Good. Gary Jollof. Gary no. Na ya pete and woko so. Na ya mix it, na ya dinchina ka. This is some of the diet.
By the time Gary need the beans.
And you are dealing with young adolescents. Nutrition is very important for growth, physically and mentally and emotionally. And you are feeding them Gary Jollof. Are you not doing them harm? Now look at CHAS for, dated, they had their 59th annual conference held at Bolgatanga from 14th to 21st of November 2021. Go through 18 issues. But just mamempo ba community. I say timely, that's point 1.
Okay.
Child's notes would concern the growing indiscipline in our schools and the dilemma of some heads in tackling these disciplinary issues in the face of growing child rights issues. As a child, Charles affirms the need to do something to curb the growing instances of indiscipline in our schools. Pursuant to the above, and in our quest to ensure an efficient running of our schools, the conference requests that timely and adequate releases in respect of funds should always be done, especially before the reopening of schools, to curb the stress of schools reopening without funds and relevant logistics to mitigate the stress associated with running schools without funds. When schools, on the 5th, and they went and mobilized and did what they did. I said the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, and relevant allies should immediately review the price of foodstuffs supplied to schools to avoid the situation whereby buffer stock suppliers offload the burden of low buffer stock prices vis-a-vis the prevailing market prices onto the schools by way of underweight of items by suppliers or negotiated undersupplied food items. And or say, point 6, buffer stock companies should stop the practice of requesting schools to move to the regional capitals to cut food items, as this comes at an extra cost on the already financially burdened schools. Anya APAAK NSC, headmasters of assisted secondary schools. But let's look at this. That the GES management should come out with clear-cut and documented guidelines on the role of PTAs in our schools to avoid the situation whereby heads are penalized, interdicted, or asked to step aside for violating verbal, in capital letters, directives in this regard. Also, the Ministry of Education and GES should seriously look at the completion of the so many abandoned projects scattered around our school compounds across the country, even though Charles recognizes that some effort is being made in this direction. The Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service should take immediate steps to expedite action on the provision of textbooks for elective subjects. And I can tell you that even the core textbooks, which are supposed to be provided free under the policy, go to the schools. You find 2-3 students sharing one core textbook. Wow. And yet the cost of core textbooks is captured as part of the indices defining what is free. Elective was our phone network, but you see that Charles has an issue with that. Yeah. And that there must be a comprehensive assessment of the furniture and infrastructural needs of schools, and to take steps to provide them, avoid the imbalances in their provision and distribution as seen in some instances, so as to ensure equity. Last point, 18. Memo document. Okay. I say finally, the rampant threat of interdiction of heirs and frequent invitation of heirs to headquarters over issues that could be handled at the district and regional level has become a matter of concern for Charles, since it erodes the confidence of the heads in managing the schools. So the issues and challenges bedeviling the Free Scenario School, and in America, I will only 8 only say and crack. A church for no only say and crack. Yes, for cry, Adam said and crack. The question is, what is being done concretely to address these issues? As I must say, since the inception of the policy, you have expended 7.62 billion Ghana cedis. And yet many of us don't believe that there's value for money. Even that figure, no. I've been able to demonstrate that it is inflated I am saying this and I'll prove.
Anyway.
That's why Sikani in our documents.
Okay.
But I will show you why I say that figure, which was given by the Minister for Finance in Parliament in response to question Amibisa, it has been inflated. Because my analysis, based on budget statements, media budget review statements, questions that I've posed to the minister and even the finance minister on the floor of Parliament. Until they prepare any paper.
Okay.
And I go school. Very necessary. I'm going to take you through some exercise and I will give you documents, dates, pages, and then we'll do the arithmetic. And you would see that when I make a case, usually I've done my homework. In 2020 media budget review of the budget statement and economic policy, Kanuforiata present here on July 23rd, 2020, page 2, paragraph 9. This is what it says. Government reported a total of 3.2 billion was spent on the free senior school since its inception, which is 2017 to 2020.
Okay, so for
3.2 billion. This was as of July 23rd, 2020. I've given you the document, the paragraph, and the page. Then on page 241 of the 2021 budget statement and economic policy, which was presented on the 12th of March 2021, government allocated 1.9 billion in summary, but in actual figures, 1.97201,968. But summarizing it, it's 1.9 billion.
Okay.
To the free senior school program. This is captured as item 4 in appendix 6 of the 2021 budget. And it based on 3.2 2020 and 1.9 2021. Ukaboma. It then becomes a total amount of 5.174 billion expended from 2017 to 2021.
5.1.
Yes.
74.
That is right.
Okay, yeah.
Then in the media financial policy review of the budget statement and economic policy, Minister Kanuforiata, Edinburgh Parliament, 29th.
But I will figure 5.17. No?
Yes.
I bet cover 2017, 18, 19, 20, 2021.
That is correct.
Which is 5 years.
That is it.
Okay.
And this is based on his own documentation.
Okay.
So in the 2021 media budget review, presented on the 29th of July 2021, page 49, paragraph 284.
Media 2021.
Yes.
Okay.
I say, I'm talking about paragraph 49, page 49, paragraph 284. Okay. And this was presented on 29th July 2021. I say, since the inception of the free senior school policy, government has invested, not allocated, invested. And when you say invested, very good. Has invested 7.62 billion to implement the free senior school policy.
7.26.
Yes.
Billion.
Yes. And the South here, based on the American, that means that there is an additional 2.4 billion. Okay. Because if you look at the figure 5.174 billion now you consider the figure of 7.62 billion now, you see that there is an increment in the quantum of money. And I actually use the word quantum when I asked the minister a question specific to this, and he said the same thing. 2.4 billion. You understand? And that 2.4 billion, it was not approved. And he about you jump from what should have been a total investment of 5.174 to 7.62 in just 1 year, 2020. How is that possible?
You can say government or sense or by what says or
Meba,
okay.
Me bisa minister a direct question on this issue. And the minister indicated, I have the hands up, that indeed 7.62 billion had been expended. And I make sorry here in my follow-up. Let me be a minister, no. Say, what account for this quantum leap? I use the word quantum leap. The video is there. What account for the quantum leap? How do you go from 5.1 to 7.62 in just 1 year? The minister, in his explanation and he said he will go and come back with better and further and better particulars, but you know, the year 2020 was an unusual year. We had COVID, a lot of expenses were incurred, PPEs, and then as for. Let me say that. I don't accept that explanation. And do you know why? Right, let me further give you some figures to tell you why the minister has not been able to come back to furnish us with the better and further particulars. I'm going to be writing an open letter to the minister asking him to provide the further and better particulars. But you see, the issue of trying to say, COVID, preparing schools for reopening and all of that is the reason why there is a quantum leap in the investment in the program. No, it's neither here nor there, and I'll prove to you why. Sure. So, 2021 mid-year budget review policy on page 101, appendix 4E, it stated very clearly that 598 million was allocated and released as COVID expenditure to prepare schools for mass reopening. What this means is that provision was made separate from all of these monies that we are talking about to prepare schools for mass reopening. So the minister's attempt to try and explain away the additional 2.4 billion using COVID, it can never stand any serious scrutiny because a separate provision had been made, as I've stated, and released to prepare schools for mass reopening. 598 million Ghana cedis. Okay? In addition to that, budget here, yedi hun koma ident tawantawa baye no. Me ranking member on the education committee. Honorable Nochu, or a member of the health committee. So he was at the health committee to hear Omo budget presentation. He came back to education committee. And at that same time, the Minister for Education had come to our committee to also defend his budget estimates. I raised this question. I asked Minister Duchu whether he can tell us what accounted for the additional 2.4 billion in the expenditure of the Free Senior High School. He says he doesn't know. We would have to check with finance. And remember, I told you that when the minister himself came to the floor of parliament to respond to my direct question, he also said he would give us further and better particulars. Amba na budget by Mr. Bisa, Minister for Education, also say Yanko, Minister for Finance, but the point I'm making is that at the health committee, it was indicated that 96 million was spent on PPEs for the Ministry of Education when the Minister for Health attended upon the Committee on Health to defend his budget request for the year 2022.
96 million.
Yes.
It's not just 2 billion on person justify and now almost 598 million on one.
Debbie.
Because 598 and they don't call you Juma for Friday.
Exactly. Okay. No, PPEs for mass reopening.
Okay.
And almost yes. Preparation of schools for mass reopening.
2.4 billion.
I don't know, but what I'm doing is to demonstrate to you that they attempt to try and say, sir, the expenditure for the free senior school
7 billion
ballooned from 5.1 to 7.6, you know, is because of COVID-related expenses and nasi for PPs.
Okay. Did I just say over 2.4 billion? Afa baby.
I know that is what we are pursuing.
For 5 years, and then the credit say government of Ghana has spent 7.6 billion.
Not from my analysis, based on their own documents.
Okay.
And
the figure should be 5.174 billion.
That should be the figure.
Okay.
So the extra now better so now. Messi extra now better so now can. I say it went to COVID-related expenditure. I've been able to demolish that argument by demonstrating that huge sums of money were assigned specifically towards the preparation of schools for reopening and has been expended. So you add the original 598
million plus 96 million.
That is it. This is what has gone to COVID expenditure as far as documentation is concerned. So consequently, no, government has failed to tell us why just in 1 year the expenditure for the free senior school policy rose from 3.2 to 7.6 when it should be, the figure should be 5.1.
Okay, or approximately 5.2.
Very good. So essentially, no, it means that Sikana Koke baby. Because there is nothing to show that this extra 2.4 billion now, Minimsa was never approved by Parliament. Our use was used in the implementation and or sustenance of the policy. Asema mi bisa say, Minister for Finance, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, Ghanaians need you to tell us what accounts for the extra expenditure in the name of free senior school in just 1 year. So 2.4 billion na yema kwan semu use no. My church say you didn't use it for free senior school no. This is what is happening. Look, you remember that I was telling you about buffer stock and the corruption. Yeah, amount for Brunya. And I'm more real. I almost say that the NDC they don't read. Yeah. We read and do research. I have presented this evidence. I have confronted the minister on the floor of Parliament on this matter. He is here to give me an answer. I have confronted the Minister for Education on this issue. He is yet to give me an answer. I have written an article on it, which was published. Yet, neither the Minister for Finance or the Minister for Education or anyone from government has been able to tell us what this additional 2.4 billion has been used for. This is what is happening. See, look, under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia and the MPP government, education has been caricatured. How to as a you can't tell. But I said education say oyonipa because basic education is being starved. We have spoken about the challenges in basic education. Even capitation grant, 4 tranches. And look at the amount of resources that they are claiming to have invested in secondary education. But ayan sunsunum kwa. That is symbolic, say. They claim to have invested a lot in the program. But in actual fact, even the 7.62 billion over the period, no, they cannot account for 2.4 billion. So resources have been put in the belly. Sunsuno. It's a decoy. I yet to fool. And sunsuno. Ah. That's actually a hunter coin. But we can have Bontina say, name the market. What is the impression you get when they tell you, oh, we have invested a lot in this? What is the impression you get?
President Akufo-Addo ekan bibi. I think the last time he hu adwuma wo ha na o say eba no education na by I invested
the oka say we invested 40 billion and that JM has invested only 20
billion no.
Look, even that argument, Okuja has put out a piece, totally demolished it with facts and figures. Even that is not true. But even for the sake of this argument, and where's the value for money? So we invested 40. Now, even in 1 year, you cannot account for 2.4 billion. Now, JMA invested 20. So, no, wait to me, I account it for the 20 now. Which one is preferable? It's not about how much you have invested, it's about what you have used the monies for.
2.5.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Then there is but expenditure.
Exactly. Look, John Mama built schools from scratch. He built schools, secondary schools from scratch. NDC, John Mama, Professor Mills, we built universities from scratch. We expanded existing educational institutions by putting in more infrastructure. I can use my own constituency as an example. We got an E-block. Today it is Kanjaga Senior High School.
Builsa.
Yes. John Mama came and commissioned it. But you know even the funny part. Tama yabo pro ya de E-blocks nyama betu dwa. Wo mu huri jump. Eke kan sama mo ya kra mampeni ekoka ansem bi a ensem fata against Togbe Fiti. Do you know that omobubo numbers now almost see omobe no? They even mentioned my own. They E-block ajo mama ebe machine ya me wo ho. To me dey ahunfu nyira ba no. They listed it as one of those that they completed.
29.
I am telling you. And I'm serious. That who could really be a Dr. APAAK E-block. Ajo mama besi ma me na obewia. Now who are they? Can you imagine? That is how dishonest and disingenuous they are. And the minister was even on national radio and TV making references to the fact that even Dr. APAAK's own backyard, they came and completed the E-block. So what? This cannot be possible.
Wow.
I was there. Omaniboma was there. John Mama himself was there. I mean, I have pictures. There are videos. That is what they do. And that is why every NDC MP, every NDC activist, you must appraise yourself with what is going on in your backyard. And yes, I sound on Mutio. They tried to take ownership of a school that was completed and commissioned. Bus, any pickup. I was there myself, and you'll be there. And yet they said that they came and completed that school. If you go to Fumbisi Senior High Agri-Technical School, many can say they are not practicing the double track. Do you know why? Because we expanded infrastructure. We built a dining hall that has 1,800 student capacity. We built a boys' dormitory with a capacity of 250. A girls' dormitory with a capacity of 250. A headmaster's bungalow. We were even about completing 6 detached master's quarters. That has delayed. But I've seen that the contractor is back on site. So when you say that you have invested 40 billion and your predecessor has invested 20 billion, it's not about the quantum of investment. It is about demonstrating that with this investment, Ghanaians have gotten true value for money. As I've explained, I've demonstrated with facts and figures and dates and documents, and I've made specific references that government is unable to account for 2.4 billion that it claims it has invested in the free senior school policy. So this thing about I've invested this, he didn't invest much, and I could see saying, where is the value for money? And so your casa say program no be agree. There ought to be a review. There ought to even be, if you want my personal opinion, a forensic audit. Because they chop in the name of free senior school. We have not even gone to past questions now, can you know?
Yeah. I don't know can't go home.
Debbie. But the past questions, just for the 2 years, it's just about 68 million.
68 million.
Two sole source, one company. 2 years in a row. I didn't commit me because we support WAEC financially every year. WAEC Accra office. Yeah, mom, I can take out the WAEC document budget presentation to us every year. The Republic of Ghana supports WAEC with money. So we had direct access to WAEC. We didn't need to go through a third party to have access to past questions and examiner reports.
And the mean sorry ko WAEC office I won't cry.
Yeah, but we anko
top past question.
Yeah, ask yourself, why didn't they go? When a middleman comes in, a percentage will go somewhere. Yeah. So here. And even with the past questions. Look, both for the 2020-2021, through 2021, many of the schools never got their compliments of the past questions. And these past questions were supposed, and examiner's reports were supposed to be in the form of booklets, based on the question I'm beside about minister. And I was even arguing as to why there had been an increase in the price of the booklets between 2020 and 2021. And they told me that the leaflets in the 2021 package were more. So the cost of printing is the reason why it went up to the 78 Ghana cedis per copy versus the previous year where it was, I think, I have to check, but I think it was around 60, 65 thereabout. They later came to say that was an error and that it was 70, 75. But be as it may, I can tell you that for 2021, where we spent just about 33 million on the past questions and examiners reports, some were given soft copies on pen drives to go and print. The headmasters told me. And they couldn't print because they had no money. Are there my boy a boy say a booklet form? Make sure Sika atu so 78 Ghana cedis per copy. Move to pen drive so.
Don't go and you print it, my dear.
And the mass schools so I'm print it. And yet we said it was the cost of printing that increased the cost. I filed a private members motion on this matter because it was said to me it do to call to get to the bottom. Masters in the area can't ask them cry.
Master in the so
and also I mean I can catalog so many questionable developments and issues. Sikasam you can see that there is no transparency.
Not just you perceive who are buying in terms of how you spend your committee level no. Certain a details never.
Mostly yes. Because of model documents never you go page by page. And then also on the floor of parliament.
Okay.
And those of us who know how to use the parliamentary processes and procedures effectively know, we come across as being pests as far as the government is concerned. The one I say, if you can tell me what you use the 2.4 billion to do, I don't have a problem.
Expose how you be crown of Macau for Bibia born and the identity or best. What you want to
yeah. Nyankopon ene hweme so.
Enokre.
Me yogidie pa. Se wudi ne kre. Na se wuyem eda ho fan a. No evil will befall you.
Enokre.
Because womi manua na se de omode beba no etwaso mu a. Sa se me nka biom. But if you don't respond, I'll keep repeating it until I get an answer. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
And I've given you documents, I've given you dates, I've given you pages, I've given you paragraphs, I've given you appendices, I've given you appendices, numbers to the appendices. I've told you.
Okay, Kojo say, I'm saying, on Shadankan or some Montreal. Canada, I don't know.
Yes, possible. Oh, I was there. So my PhD, I was Simon Fraser.
Oh, okay.
And I traveled to Montreal. Yes, we used to go there for our NDC Canada activities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know,
also
me pa. Maybe it's no a check. Intinyami this summer, remember?
No.
You read the air Parliament. Because maybe I 137 no need here. You too kind. You too. Until that is over, we are not traveling anywhere.
At the 11, you know.
You come here. You better office subscribe. Better home.
137 still against.
What? What has changed? No way to bottom policy way. How can we accept it?
No. Now could you upon Kromane finance minister? Asia press. And no more can be said. Tell no. They have agreed. Say one more 1% in so a year 0.25%. Serabaya a cushion government. Just a government 1.75 in a year. On a woman, your mother to be a gem watching.
And so, yeah, I can say, Janaya Yesino. You better sign. Because Ghana for and I hear my mom. What I hope ya, Muhe, you could do. Kwelebu. Bronebeka, do some
voice poll.
Yes. To see, out of every 10 people, I can guarantee you that 8 will be opposed to this e-levy. Out of every 10. Try it. You just try it and see. How do you say that you are going to charge people by taking money from them for no service rendered? And yes, bia woma ko digwe bi na woma nye ho mfaso timiti hei na me ma me we krase wonti apo na se me sene 500 momo say am fa no ko asibiti na wo se wote 1.75 e ko du ho na ono nso edu ne bi wonya no we krase na so say dia aka no what is sending obi true momo amaya to drona no one has to so 1.75 I mean why should we accept this? Is it not thievery? I mean when you are taxing, you must tax on something. The wallet is in my pocket and you are saying that when I put money in it you want to take 1.75, and we stand with the people of Ghana on this electronic transaction levy. And you know that it is not even Momo alone. Other services provided by the state, when you go for those services, you will pay.
Because almost say Ghanaians are not against e-levy.
Really? Which Ghanaians has he spoken to?
I see e-levy bill to be relayed before Parliament.
Yeah, he can choose to say Ghanaians are not against e-levy. Of course, he's privileged. The people who surround him clearly would not find this objectionable. But the people of Builsa South, for them, they don't accept this. I just came back about 3 days ago. A fashion kitenkete ahodo ewo me constituency. Emu ba kuni wa me koya omo mboma baso. Omaze mbokwa. bebia mugina no muntintim na mo anya hwimpo na se edane ba na yete se bebia mugina ye 137 mutu tiaya yenim se moya mafa. This is how determined the people are in opposition, and they are hailing us as heroes because they know we are fighting on their behalf. And the day now by was yes sir yegina ye and I'm kind of look, we have nothing to lose. We have given this government pointers with me and Jessica to cover up for the about 7 billion now almost say umbenya a free e-levy 2.4 on the semaka.
Yeah,
we can go to the ports, revenue leakages, re-exportation fraud, omodi nyomane ba almost omodi ko Burkina, and because of ECOWAS treaty and arrangements, you get a reduced tax component. See, omo could reduce tax component now. No my say omo de ko omo do of anko no ma san dane. Enko Burkina. Enko Mali. No ma beton.
Sana de netie.
I am me can add to us. Then we have what we call misclassification. Now I call flat screens. Even for high-end cars. Say Rolls Royce, and then they misclassify deliberately. Say, yeah, food items, and I say, then they pay the duty on Broniwewu instead of flat screen TVs. Cheating the state. Do one more? Bonded warehouses. So I'm going to banner say, to me in Tuatuana. I buy warehouses under the custody of GRA. Now the Nyomana Kugum. Now the padlock minu aloko. I buy afa GRA officials, customs, okuteki. Now the Nyomana one ono sukuteki. See the beya. GRA for no end to me enko Nyomano without the knowledge of the owner. See the beya, owner of the goods no sono want to be enko Nyomano entong about 1 3 at I can tell you, you go to some of those bonded warehouses, they are empty, and yet duty and taxes have not been paid. Check the amounts of money that we lose through revenue leakages at the ports. Look, it will dwarf this e-levy, the Ebenya infrastructure. And Americano. Look, are you not aware that some citizens have taken a member of the Council of State on? Say, Wakanyamaba in Yanin, Kukon in Yamanama. Have you not been following that case? That is only one example. A dozen revenue leakages. So here. And look at the Auditor General's report for 2020. 12 billion.
12.8.
12.8. You see, and we've also said, we are in austerity. There are certain expenditures that you need to cut. Matisa, I say, minister, any incentive for a dink, or say they are looking at cutting on expenditure. That is a good start. Because there are several expenditures that at this point in time, ought not to be done. Let's focus on the bare necessities. Ghanaians are already suffering. COVID by lockdown by and 40 billion now must say mudia shimuno. Mumbu kunta musemonye. You know the minority, we even wrote to the Auditor General asking for an audit to be done on COVID expenditure. Yanya NAE Domlovodi. So that is another option we are pursuing. And you know, honestly, Ghana for Omunyuma say, as a result of COVID, many of them have not recovered. Companies are eguye. Many of them, the companies have not recovered. So what? COVID by Musi Mama ensure any kania free. Yetu abedwe ya. And you are still asking Ghanaians to sacrifice again when we are seeing the lifestyle of those who are managing the economy? President to me chata plane. Nordinam, Abrawo, presidential jet. Moon can't change the cost of that. We see the bidder munka. And you are still asking the people to sacrifice. Is it fair? Is it right? Is it just? So this fight is even bigger than the e-levy. It's a fight for justice, equity, and fairness. A fight for the common Ghanaian who is undergoing excruciating hardship. Also, I say 1.75. And the side level in the may the minimum say be okay. We say zero e-levy. We would maintain our stance. We don't say that it cannot be passed, given the dynamics in Parliament. But what we are saying is that at any day, any time, any hour, any minute, when we get the call from our commander, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and his two IC, Honorable Aveji, the two wingmen, Mutaka and Ahmed, and our mother Comfort Doyo, to be present in Parliament at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 10 p.m., 1:37 would be accounted for. That is how determined we are. And then are going to AD. So if anyone is delusional enough to feel, say, we can get some from the NDC side, it won't happen. And we would be asking for a head count. Yanka says secret ballot. Obi biara obe vote bia obe sore jina. Na ya bowdin. They bisao. How do you vote? And I, Dr. APAAK, and my 136 colleagues, we would all say no.
And don't be applied to the majority group, no.
Now say head count almost sorry.
Okay.
So that every Ghanaian would know those who have voted to worsen their current predicament and those who voted to try and redeem them. Na Ghana nina ubiabehu wa woko mpeso swa. Omo mutuma ono. Wombehu se utuma e-levy. And I said, to tear e-levy.
Okay.
That is what is going to happen.
Okay. Quick one. In the next 2-3 minutes, you know. Your time now 15 minutes. Now, yeah, sorry. But now a person can be beautiful phone can grab 5 minutes. But the NTS delegation we call a speaker about e-levy won't say no crack can be I will draw a year for a year military protection. How true about that story?
The minimum say I know this to be true. I know this to be true because I got the information from very highly placed persons. And the newspaper actually published it. And so far, nobody from the other side of government has come to deny. What I know, and I know this for a fact, is that a delegation visited the speaker and it had persons drawn from Parliament, from the NPP side, from their party, and even Jubilee House. They went there, say, Omo Kopa speaker chow. Say, the Omaya enyaniteno. Wonfa enche, wonfa encho. And I also say, oh, Mabadia, ayatipa. Na mon crofo na omukaka sa nsem no nyina efa me ho no mon kan kiro mo se wo mon san ko bebia omugina ka sa nsem no nyina literally all the platforms that they used to say those things about me, they should go back there, withdraw and apologize. And I'm raising the issue of e-levy. Na baba na say wono no na eduma ne say obema Parliament aye eduma say them run here, in this case the Constitution and then the standing orders. Eduma oye no oyema Ghana ene Ghana for. When you ma party A, and I say party B. Moya oma wono. And no na nyo omote. And Omo decided said they will show him where power lies. And it's as part of that effort to show where power lies that we saw. It's one of many schemes and plots. Ahmed, I don't quite the I didn't know all that is part of a scheme to try and intimidate and cow and let the rest of us know, say, they are in charge, including the speaker. And that is why Saosha Mmoya Abba, in terms of who assigned the military personnel that they are now saying was not properly assigned. Abba and yes, speaker no na de pe Echo barracks. Echo you almost say almost be protecting no. The one was signing or more, you say it was done improperly. Who do you know? What? And did it have to take one whole year? 1 whole year. And is it not coincidental that it is happening within this context of what is going on? But you see, what they forget is that the dynamics in Parliament have changed. And group dynamics will tell you that when you attack a group, you are reinforcing the unity of that group. So they are actually reinforcing our unity as NDC, as one people who are under attack, and as NDC members of Parliament who are under attack. And you know what they are doing is actually going to produce the opposite effect of what they intend to achieve. And that is why I can say, look, the word consensus. Ubi biara wo kasa afa this 8th parliament home, don't use it. It doesn't exist. It can't exist. It won't work. Because until say say we are 137 plus and independent. And then we have a speaker who is determined to go according to the processes and procedure as dictated by the standing orders, new constitution. No. What we saw before we went on recess is what is going to be the status quo.
Okay.
Parliament could actually come to a standstill. Because say obisi on dim ranoswa. Yenso yen pene MOB NCC.
Okay. Mami MPK, me baton wani.
Watch me baton from Congress me do fi Kumasi Nhyaiso constituency.
Kumasi Nhyaiso yenko.
Watch my member abaso na mincha me able brother Bachan for or deputy Ashanti regional secretary. Na mincha lawyer Ivan Samankwa on also call Ashanti regional
secretary. Me time in yeah, time in
watch it. All before the better we were born home one day papa yeah papa comment APAAK. What transfer mo san NDC for your panel. So mo radio to radio no mo church and temo nan prayer grassroots for your son. Because papa ni some of the kai ameye me won Nhyaiso constituency am TV ho amehwe ne me hu ni say some okay imo yam enti ye basre say something radio ya na mpini fo nya sabe nyankran kwa na o tena eya mo executives mo mmeku mape na mo magi airtime e wa something radio na mo check mo na ntọ grassroots ni o mo to abanfa NDC no mo ntọ o masum because mo nyina mo trankan ya emoa because nyankofo nyina so na mo ti radio gold ho mo ti enti ya mo mmefam na mo ba check so mo say be ya better grassroots asumo wa something radio and no pe ni ya papa kai e to asum na speaker of parliament no sabi party no money for an election from Abina Kufuor kwa no wo hwa bodyguard ni te do mo ti ni tia o mo nya soldier for other than this department traffic party halakren traffic no mama papa no party internal
internal protection asem no ka no ye better asem me ba chon